When you enter in the Carol Joy Hauling Camp property and you drive through the trees, you can't help but feel like you've entered someplace special.
Have seen this place transform lives time and time again.
I always see God in the kindness of people.
I think there's an enormous piece of camp that is really just truly about learning who you are and learning who you are in relationship to others.
You get to leave your daily agenda behind when you're here for camp, or you're here for a retreat, or you're here just because you came.
So we've been doing camping in Nebraska for the last 60 years, and it started with Lutheran congregations renting sites all across the state. We progressed in the mid-60s to owning our first camp property, which was the Circle R Bible Camp, and then that ran for about 15 years, and we received the generous gift from the Hauling family, which became Carol Joy Hauling Camp. That gift has spurred on so many wonderful things through this property. And then in 1995, we received the gift from the Sullivan family of their homestead farm, which created Sullivan Hills Camp out in the Panhandle near Lodgepole, Nebraska.
I think this camp is here to serve youth to learn about Christ and allow them to strengthen their faith or even begin their faith journey.
I was a camper here as a child and really experienced for the first time what it meant to be truly cherished for who I was.
When they get out in nature, they get to be themselves and be a kid and not be so structured. Out here, they can just be themselves.
It was a chance to go someplace different for a week, a chance to be with friends, to be outdoors in an area different than from where I lived.
Times have changed a bit since the 30-some years ago that we brought our kids. The expectations of both the parents and the campers is different. Things are just different, and we need to move with the times.
Sullivan Hills opened in 1997 to children. We were in platform tents, and it was really rustic, and it was special. It doesn't look like that anymore. It's still special.
If we continue to invest in our facilities, updating, our lakes, we're updating the safety and security of our buildings to provide a good camping experience, people will want to come back.
So the camp is getting more use than ever. Unfortunately, it's not accessible to everyone.
The facilities at the Grove are not currently available for use year-round, which limits the amount of ministry that can happen at that site.
And the lake is just one of those things that need to be helped so that we can endure it for the generations to come.
The campground at Carol Joy Hauling is a great place to build community. Unfortunately, with the current amenities, it's limited in how many people it can serve and the types of service it can provide.
No longer simply a summer kids camp for a few weeks. It's a year-round facility being utilized for all kinds of adult and other youth activities.
The Sustaining Sacred Spaces campaign does a lot of things for us. So our formal campaign period will be a 3-year campaign starting 2024 through 2026 at Carol Joy Hauling Camp. We're going to renew the site at the Grove, as well as we're looking at housing. We've used teepees at that site for many years, and we're going to be looking at using yurts. It allows us to be a little more stable, use those facilities there year-round. The large piece of the campaign is reclaiming Crystal Springs Lake. Over 40 years, we've lost about 1/3 of the size and about half of its current depth. We're looking to make our site more accessible, and so we're really focused in on parking lots. We're also going to be improving our family campground. We want to do the leveling and create individual pads to be able to serve more people. At Sullivan Hills Camp, Phil Singer Pond is having some issues holding water to the capacity it needs to. We also are looking at new program element. We're going to take elementary kids into an area pool in Chapel, Nebraska, as well as look at taking middle school and high school kids to do a lake day. We'd like to have a UTV to make sure that in the event of emergency, we could get one of our campers back quicker. And then working on accessibility and comfort improvements as well. Having more staff out there to connect with others, to be able to run programs, create new things, build relationships. The last piece of the campaign that kind of connects with both of our sites and our ministry is our Seminary Scholarship Fund. This ministry has had a strong impact in raising leaders for the church. Over the last 40 years, we've had 51 pastors that have come off our summer ministry team, and so we want to be able to do our part.
To be here is being a part of the legacy.
It's just so inspiring.
The Sustaining Sacred Spaces campaign seeks to raise nearly $7 million to make many improvements at both Carol Joy Hauling and Sullivan Hills camps, as well as impact the church and our communities for many years to come.
You think you stretch yourself to make a commitment, and somehow or another God always provides, and you end up with really don't miss what you give.
The generosity of the donors and the stakeholders at NLOM exceeds most other camps. The value of that so far and what we see today is that they're providing innovative and exciting camping opportunities and year-round retreating at both places that's meeting the needs of the people. And to keep doing that, it's going to require continued resources.
What is that total cost when we look at the lives that we're going to impact?
The stories about the young kids and how the camp changed the lives of young kids was important to us. And that's why we started supporting them, and we've continued to.
We've set a challenge through this campaign of having 25 new people include NLOM in their will over the course of the 3-year campaign.
I'd say one of the most satisfying things we've done is to meet with our financial planner and to include the camp part of our estate plan.
I've seen what they do with what they get, so we have chosen to make this one of our major people that receive funds.
No matter how you can, with your dollars, volunteer hours, whatever, please think about this as something special as we're preserving a place for the future.
Join us in sustaining the sacred spaces at Nebraska Lutheran Outdoor Ministries.
I know the impact the Sustaining Sacred Spaces campaign will have for Nebraska Lutheran Outdoor Ministries, for the Nebraska Synod, and for the state of Nebraska as a whole. I encourage you to generously support this campaign if that's what God is asking you to do.
As part of this campaign, if you've never been to Carol Joy Hauling or Sullivan Hills, I encourage you to come visit, come see this place, and see how faith comes alive out here.